Hello everyone and welcome to my tutorial on how to create a grid in Python, all automated. What I will do is just show you our end result so that you know what we're working towards, and then we'll go through it step by step so we can get there. So what I'm first going to do is just run the file that I've already created, and there we go, there's our grid. So now we're going to look at how we can actually create that. So assuming that you've got Python already installed, it's easy to check. You can just type in Python and it will come up with this information and your version here. I'm on 2.7.12. I know there's a 3 out, which I haven't had a chance to dabble in yet, so I'm working on this one. Just to check that it's working, I will type in print hello, and there we go, it says hello. Okay, so we'll just close that, quit and close, open and close brackets, and now we're back into terminal. I also use a program called Sublime Text. It's free to download, it's open source. No, sorry, it's not. It's free to download, and they do every now and again ask you to pay for the license, but you can continue to use the demo license if you'd like, or you can buy the license if you want to. But there's loads of other advanced text edits out there. This is just the one I particularly like and was recommended to by another Python learner. Okay, so what we shall do is get started. So first of all, what we want to do is just type in terminal. I am in the folder Python, which I will show you. These are the files that are within that folder, and where that is, so I've just changed up, is here, Python. So let's change to Python. You can create it wherever you are. All it means is that when I create this next file, it will be within that directory. So if you just type in list, it will just show you where you are, which directory, and it also comes up just before your name here in terminal. So first thing first, I'm going to type in touch example2.py. That's now created that file. So if I type in open example2.py, there we go. Okay, so now we want to start working towards this grid. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to define a function that repeats a function twice. So def tab, it's telling me define, so it's saying there should be a function there, the name of it, and then the pass to what it's going to do. Okay, so def do twice, function in brackets, and then what we want to do is function. Okay, so now we also want to create one called do for, and you'll see these come into play later on and understand as to why we're creating these. So def do for, and what we want to type in here is we want to, function is we want to do twice. So when we call this do for function, we want it to run do twice function. Okay. So what we'll do now is just type in print hello, just press command save, and what should happen is here, into terminal now, we'll type in Python example2.py. That should just run back hello, and it's ignored these because we're not calling them. Now if you wanted to just type that quickly, once you've already typed something, you just press up in terminal, and it will give me what my last writing was, or you can keep going up to go through your list. So you can just run it, there we go. Okay, so first thing first, now we've got these functions and they've not reported an error because it's just when we run the actual script, it just returns back nothing because there's nothing to be called. So we want to start now with this beam, so we'll define a function, this print underscore beam. Remember, you can't put spaces because it will call that an error, so underscore is used as a space, that's what I use it. Print colon, the single speech marks, print plus space 4 minuses with the pluses, plus space minus is plus. So command save, and now let's type in print beam, save, and let's see what happens if we run that terminal. There's our beam. Excellent. Okay, so now we want the posts, but as you can see, they're underneath each other. So if we did this example, it wouldn't work because it would look like this. So define print post. Okay, and then print, and then I'll show you if we just see, press enter, it doesn't like it. So it's going to just print it on one line. That's how Python works. It will read it as one line of text. So this is where do for is going to come into play later on. So what we'll do here is create the upward line, 9 spaces, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then come down and we do print beam and print post. Command S in the Mac to save. And there we go, there's our top section. Excellent. So now what we're going to want to do is print these posts 4 times because we have 4 posts. So we will do a define print posts, and then what we want this to do is print those posts but 4 times over. So what we do is we type in our function do for, we call that up here, open the brackets, and what we want to do is for of print post, just post here. Okay, so then command save, and then if we call up print posts, save, it should give us 4 posts. Now to show you a small error, to show you how it's very easy to make mistakes, if I just typed in print posts there, what we will get is a looping error because it's stuck print posts, do for of print posts. So we're just stuck in this loop here. So make sure that says print post. Okay, so now what we want to do is print a row. So I'm just going to bring our Python grid back up so we can see what we're doing. So now we want to print a row, which is going to be this whole section here. So we'll define print row, and then what we're going to call up is we want a beam, so print beam, and we then want it to print, but this time posts. We want it to print all of the posts because this is here doing 4 of. So now if I call this up, print row, save, what we should get, oh sorry, I've just called up python.pythongrid, sorry, my mistake. What I've called up here, so example2.py is that section there. Okay, so what we've done is print row is printing that section there. Okay, so as you can see, we obviously want a beam underneath that, but what we're going to do is finish this whole thing off with the grid. So we're going to define a new function as print grid, and what we want is we want this row, correct, and we also want a beam. So now let's call that up, print grid, save, and what we will get is this here. But of course what we want to achieve is the full 2x2 grid, and we've only got 1x1. So what we need to do is make an adjustment here to the row, because obviously we want 2 of these, which is where our do twice, which we created at the start, comes into play. Now what we'll do is something very similar to what we did here for print posts, because obviously we want 2 of these. So what would you type in here if you were to want 2 of the print rows here? And I suggest you just pause the video and try and work it out, try and play around for a bit, manipulate it, see if you can do it, or just carry on watching and I will show you. So we will type in here do twice, open the brackets, and what we want is to do 2 of the rows. Okay, save. Now when we print grid, what we should get is the full grid. And that should be this here, grid. So what we're doing is 2 of those, but we're printing the beam as well, so it's doing them twice with a beam at the bottom. So what we're essentially doing, to show you how it looks, how it works, save that, and then we haven't got a beam at the bottom, so it's done the row, which is this bit here, twice, and then the beam at the bottom to give us that. And what you can also do is, if you want to do this whole thing in Python, if you open up Python, you can copy and paste your code, everything I've said, enter it in there, then you'll press enter again to close defining this print grid, and then you just type in print grid, and there's your grid. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. It's certainly a big learning curve, Python, and I'm still very in the basic process towards it, and there's many different ways you can manipulate the code to create this grid, and there's many different ways. There's easier ways, there's probably harder ways, but this should just help get your mindset around how Python works with very basic grid. So I hope you've enjoyed. Please subscribe for more videos. I shall be making more, and see you soon.